Vamos a intentar desvelarles las claves de esta sesión asiática. Vamos a saludar a la reportera de CGTN, a Xu Yi, CGTN reporter. Hi Xu, good morning.
Hello, hola, good morning.
Well, Chinese stock markets close higher after two consecutive sessions of losses. How has the start of November been for the markets, and who have been the key players?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, after two consecutive days of declines, China's Asia market saw broad-based gains today, with all three major indices closing higher. And we can notice that AI application concepts rebounded and led by online gaming and short drama segments. And solar energy and Hainan Free Trade Port and memory chip stocks also showed strong activity. And in contrast, lithium battery, gold, and semiconductor sectors experienced adjustments. And notably, oil and coal stocks rallied, as we noticed. And analysis point to the resilient performance of China's big three oil companies compared to international peers in the first 3 quarters, highlighting their cyclical resilience and long-term investment value. So meanwhile, the coal sector benefits from both cyclical and dividend attributes, with seasonal demand pickup expected to drive prices higher. So today's market strength stems from two key factors in my perspective. First, ongoing policy support for tech innovation and private sector development in China has stabilized market sentiment. And second, the upcoming like the Shanghai Import Expo in November and Hainan Special Customs Operations in December demonstrate China's commitment to high-level openness and further boosting expectations for the markets. So we believe long-term value investment remains the market anchor, while northbound fund flows show some volatility, and the net inflow trends persists, and domestic institutions continue accumulating quality assets aligned with high-quality development. So market confidence is steadily rebuilding.
Rating docs, China General Manufacturers PMI fell to 50.6 in October, more than expected. What do you think is causing the slowdown in manufacturing activity? Do you think trade risks will continue to weigh on the market and be reflected in the coming months?
Yeah, thank you. So the latest October manufacturing PMI data released by Rating Doc indeed indicates a slowdown in growth momentum. And we believe this stems from multiple factors. And on one hand, increased uncertainties in the global economic recovery have led to generally weak external demand. And on the other hand, China is in a phase of deepening industrial restructuring, where the decline of traditional drivers and the cultivation of new ones require a transitional process. And additionally, the extended holiday in October, like the national holiday and Mid-Autumn Day, may have also temporarily affected production activities and people's needs. So we maintain that with China's current policy focus centered on the 15th five-year plan, subsequent measures to stabilize the economy and boost domestic demand are expected to be rolled out, which could provide some supports to the PMI index. So regarding the trade risks, we recognize that their complexity and sovereignty persist, and these will continue to give pressure on the market, and particularly on enterprises with like the high reliance on trade. And such impacts are likely to be reflected in economic data over the coming month. But however, it is important to note that China is enhancing its economic resilience and risk resistance by accelerating the development of a modern industrial system and vigorously promoting the domestic circulation. And therefore, despite existing challenges, China's economic flexibility and policy toolkit remains sufficient to counter these external shocks.
Shenzhen will host the next APEC summit. What does it mean for China to host this forum, and what conclusion do you draw for the last summit in South Korea?
Yeah, so Shenzhen is a very important window for China, and since 1989, China has twice assumed the role of APEC host. First at the 2001 Shanghai gathering, and then 2014 Beijing conference. And in 2026, China will host the forum for the third time, with the summit being held for the first time in Shenzhen. And the dynamic core engine of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area, and one of China's youngest and most vibrant cities. And the reasons behind this choice lies in Shenzhen's reform and opening up genes, which aligns closely with APEC's principles of openness, inclusiveness, and win-win cooperation. And designated as a special economic zone in 1980, Shenzhen has since served as a national pilot and pioneer for reform and opening up at every stage of China's development. By emphasizing both domestic and international economic flows, its GDP skyrocketed from 270 million yuan in 1980 to 3.68 trillion yuan in 2024. It has evolved from a small border town into a modern international metropolis, a model that many developing countries now look for inspiration. And as one of China's most open cities, Shenzhen has also become the country's top performer in foreign trade, with extensive economic and trade ties worldwide. So last year, its total import-export value reached 4.5 trillion yuan, securing its position as China's leading foreign trade hub and achieving 32 consecutive years as the nation's top exporter. And Shenzhen also optimizes China's transition from the world's factory to a global innovation hub, serving as a showcase for new quality productive forces. And home to tech giants like Huawei, Tencent, and BYD, it has emerged as a key city for AI development in China and ranks among the world's most densely equipped urban centers in terms of digital infrastructure. And during this year's APEC meeting, President Xi highlighted the technology and innovation in his speeches. He also expressed in his remarks in the ROK that over the past 5 years, China has ranked as the world's largest trader in goods and the second largest in services. And China has attracted more than $700 trillion in foreign investment in total. So looking back at previous APEC meetings, we can draw a clear conclusion. Against the backdrop of rising protectionism and increasing risks of global economic fragmentation, adhering genuine multilateralism and deepening regional economic integration represent a universal consensus and shared aspiration among all economies. So therefore, we anticipate and believe that the APEC summit in Shenzhen will further consolidate consensus, promote the building of an open Asia-Pacific economy, and inject new, robust momentum into the stability for the global economy.
Shui, CGTN reporter, thank you for coming to Negocios TV.
Thank you, and see you next time.